What if I tell you that with just a few digital ICs, a microcontroller, and an LCD display, you can build a password-protected digital lock system that works very much like a real electronic security lock? The most interesting part of this system is that it compares a stored password with the password entered by the user and instantly decides whether access should be granted or denied. But how does all of this actually happen? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand the complete design, from creating the circuit to running the final simulation. First, we create the foundation of our project inside Proteus. At the center of the circuit, we place the microcontroller, which will control the entire system. This microcontroller acts as the brain of the project. It receives information, processes it, and then sends the required output to the display and indicators. Now, think about this for a moment. If a user enters a password, where will that password be stored, and how will the system remember it? This is exactly what we are going to build, step by step. Next, we add the LCD display. This display will work as a communication bridge between the user and the lock system. The user will not have to guess what is happening inside the system, because the LCD will show clear messages and indicate the current condition of the lock. After placing the hardware, we move towards the software part. For this project, the program required to control the microcontroller has already been prepared. Here, we will only take a short overview of the code to understand how the logic has been implemented inside the system. In this program, instructions are given to the microcontroller about how to read the password input, how to compare it with the stored password, and how to control the LCD and indicators according to the result. In simple words, when the user enters a password, the microcontroller processes that data, performs verification, and then decides whether access should be allowed or denied. Now that the program is ready, the next step is to compile the code. The reason for this is that the microcontroller cannot directly understand the programming language we write. The compiler converts this code into a hex file, which is a machine-readable format for the microcontroller. Now here is a question for you. What do you think will happen if we forget to load the hex file into the microcontroller? Exactly. The circuit may look completely correct, but the controller will have no idea what it needs to do. That is why generating the hex file alone is not enough. After compilation, we locate the generated hex file inside the project folder. This file contains all the instructions that the microcontroller will execute during the simulation. Now we come back to Proteus and open the microcontroller properties. Here we select the location of the hex file and load it into the controller. At this point, our circuit becomes intelligent because the program has now been embedded into the microcontroller. After loading the software, we complete the hardware connections. The LCD pins are carefully connected with the microcontroller so that data and control signals can be exchanged properly. Every connection is important because even a single incorrect wire can stop the display from working. As the wiring is completed, the LCD becomes a complete part of the system. Now it is ready to display instructions, password prompts, and lock status messages. Now we focus on the password mechanism. We create a section where the password can be stored. This stored password works as a reference password, which will later be compared with the password entered by the user. But storing a password alone is not enough. The user also needs a way to enter a password for verification. For this reason, we create a separate input section where the password will be entered. Now think about this. If we have one stored password and another entered password, how will the system decide whether both are the same or not? This is where the comparison stage starts. We introduce a digital comparator into the circuit. Its job is simple but extremely important. It continuously checks whether the entered password is exactly equal to the stored password. When both values match, the comparator generates an output that indicates success. But if even a single bit is different, the output changes and the system recognizes that the password is incorrect. To make the project more interactive, we add visual indicators. LEDs are connected so the user can immediately see whether authentication is successful or not. One LED represents the locked condition, while the other represents the unlocked condition. Now our circuit is starting to look like a real digital security system. We have a controller, display, password storage, password input, comparison logic, and status indicators, all working together. Now it is time for testing. First, we define a password using the password settings section. This value becomes the valid password that the system will accept. Then we enter a password through the input section. When the comparison process starts, the system checks every bit of information. If the entered password does not match the stored password, the lock remains secure and access is denied. At the same time, the LCD informs the user about the current condition. The user is not left confused because the display clearly shows whether the system is locked or unlocked. Now think about one thing. If this was a real product, what extra feature would you add to it? Would you add a buzzer for wrong passwords? A keypad for easier input? Or even fingerprint authentication? Once you understand the basic digital lock framework, the possibilities become endless.